So, Sadhuji, yesterday you talked about acceptance, that acceptance leads to liberation. So, what is this acceptance? Supposing a person having cancer accepts it that he's he's got cancer. So, how is he liberated? I mean, is this acceptance helpful in any way?
Acceptance is not a technique, it is the way of life. Acceptance is not something that one needs to do, and others can choose not to do. Acceptance means you have realized that after a point, things are not in your hands. After a point, you are not the master. See, so if we accept that only to an extent can we control, command, beyond that we cannot control, then only to an extent we will suffer. Beyond that, we will be detached from the suffering. All the acceptance may not bring you instant joy. It is not even about being happy. If you are going through something, initially you want to try all that you know in order to solve that, come out of that situation. After a point you realize it is not in my hands. I cannot control people from insulting me. I can't stop them from trolling me. Let's accept that this is a part of duality. This is the part of this world where I live in. When you accept this, then the person is still trolling, is still abusing, is still insulting, but those things will not disturb you so much. And this acceptance is not instant. This acceptance itself is a process. Initially, when you accept, then one part of your mind says that I have accepted. But most of the parts of your mind says that I have only spoken a little loudly that I am accepting, but I have not accepted. Overall, your mind is saying that I have not accepted. So this is the first stage of acceptance where you don't even feel that you have accepted. You feel that you're only trying to accept in order to make things better. But as you remain in this state of acceptance, then you enter the level 2. There you start feeling that a bit I have accepted, but a lot I have to. And slowly, a time comes when you have fully accepted it. That point is the point of freedom and liberation, the final level of acceptance, not the first level. At the first level, it is very funny to your mind that what am I saying? How can I accept it even? Can it be even accepted that I am being told to accept? This is the first level of acceptance. It is so amusing, so doubtful. This stage is not freedom. This stage is not liberating. But this is not the final stage of acceptance. Acceptance is a journey. At the end, you feel liberated.
So I know that I have some flaws and weaknesses, but it's very difficult for me to accept that. So is there ego playing? How can why do I try to justify myself? What stops me from accepting it?
If acceptance is becoming very tough, then the problem is not that you are not able to accept. So let's work on how to accept. No. If it is very, very difficult to accept, then the problem is not your inability to accept. Problem is something else. Problem is your fundamental idea about what you are trying to accept. You say that you want to accept your flaws. How do you know they are flaws? How do you know that? Because if they are not really flaws, then you can never accept your flaws because they are not really flaws at the first place. So how can you accept them? You will struggle to accept them. How do you know they are flaws? They seem like flaws because you are considering society too much. That's why they seem like flaw. Otherwise, where is the flaw? A few days ago, somebody told me that she has a friend who is deaf. She cannot hear. She is disabled. I say, how? Yes, it's a fact that she cannot hear, but how this not being able to hear becomes a disability? Oh, she cannot listen, she cannot talk. So what? What is there to talk and listen here? The only thing that they are trying to say is she is not fit in the society, that's all. If she was living all alone, where is the flaw? In fact, it is beautiful. Disability is not your inability to hear the sound. but your inability to hear the silence. Disabled are not they who cannot walk. Disabled are they who cannot stop walking. Disabled are not they who do not have hands. Disabled are they who do not have heart. If you do not have heart, then it is a flaw. If you cannot hear silence, then it is a flaw. If you cannot be one with what you are, if you are constantly searching for togetherness, validation, then there is a flaw. Not being able to speak is not a flaw. There's nothing to speak much. Anybody, anyway, nobody's listening. Nobody listens. They listen because they are free. They are not listening because you're talking something great or I'm talking something great. No. How do you know what you are calling as flaws are flaws? If you keep society aside for a while and look at those things once again, will you still call them flaws? I'm not saying they're great things. No, they're not great boons. I'm saying they're not even curse. They're simple things. What's big in that? Somebody can speak, somebody cannot. Somebody can write, somebody cannot. What's big thing in that?
Yeah. Understood.